This is YoloTeamHomeTeam podcast.
Plastic Cup Boys.
Trojan got the best condoms out here.
I told you in the beginning, I said, that duo is tough.
That's none of my business. That's none of my business. We're not just a show about hooping, even though we're hoopers. I want us to support D&D niggas in general. We create an opportunity for people to do that.
YoloTeamHomeTeam, the podcast.
It's YoloTeam the Home Team podcast. I'm Yolo J.
I'm Z the Server.
And we got a special fucking guest.
Yes,
My boy Loso.
To all you females that's walking around with this little ass purse, little ass basketball purse with the handle on it, listen here. I don't give a fuck. Those bags, purses are the fucking worst bags ever known to man.
Shaw University graduate.
How y'all doing, man?
TOB zone.
Yes, sir.
But museum zone. My boy's a hooper too. He's a jack of all trades for real. Music, comedy. Fucking, what you got, like 30,000 on Instagram? Yeah, goals. Yeah, he did just have a new Instagram. Shit, tell them where they can follow you before we even start though.
You can follow me at IN_Loso_we_trust and Loso we trust.
And we're gonna put that in the bio too. So, what everybody been up to, man? What y'all been up to?
A lot of shit been going on this week. We had the death of King Von.
Rest in
like
peace.
that. New president, finally. So we'll see where that take us.
I say,
Speaking of new president, it was a lot of parades, I guess you could say, celebrations. You guys a part of
Yeah, I
that?
was in that too.
Yeah. We actually performed down there. But we did it at by the Navy Yard. We didn't perform at the White House because CCB played before us. We were supposed to play after that, but they was like it was gonna get too chaotic, so they didn't wanna.
Yeah, I would much rather hear TOB than CCB. Sorry, y'all. I do fuck with CCB
I was
though.
out there, Joe, following the truck. Like, yeah, that's good.
Shit, I want to say. Let me tell you how I met him. I mean, it wasn't really like a. We was just hooping, bro. Honestly, we was hooping. He got a bucket, and I dapped him up for real. So I mean, but shit, I don't recall. I doubt it, but motherfucking, I mean, shit. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty
You was
much
getting
how
cooked. You was getting cooked, bro.
I wasn't
I
getting
can't
cooked.
say for a fact, like we did hoop against him a couple times, but I never knew you did so much more though. Like I
Actually, you know what I mean? I played basketball like my whole entire life, football. I just gained this weight, but I was, I went to school, college.
You hooped that show?
Yeah, I kicked all the team though, but high school I went to Dunbar, and my senior year I led the whole city in assists. And
That's tough.
I was gonna go to Temple, but I tore my ACL.
I know how that feel.
3-4 games before the end of the season, so I was done. And I had other looks, you know what I mean? But like I went on a visit to Temple, that was cool, you know what I mean? They was gonna bring me in on some D-Wade type shit, like on some partial scholarship, and then work my way to a full, you know what I mean? So that was cool. Did that one day on the visit, I was like, man, I wanna go hit. That's why I wanna go at. Like I ain't go to no other schools. I had Richmond. My main big schools was Loyola, Richmond, and Temple. Those were my main big. And the rest was like Division 2s.
That's tough.
So,
that's hard.
I had went on one visit, me and my brother and my grandmother and my mother, and that was to Temple. And I was like, I ain't going no other visit. I was like, man, I want to go here.
To Temple?
Yeah, but all the other schools was like offering me full rides and shit.
What made you say, oh yeah, that's the school?
Allerton.
Like what got you?
Where's that at?
Wow,
Matter of fact?
Philly.
Philly, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that means the bitches.
That's exactly what it was. I still actually got the little, like they gave me some gear. I still got my Temple shorts in the trunk.
I saw you did a skit like that. Like he had a skit where like he had like 15 shirts on at different schools. He was like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I was
supposed to go to Syracuse.
Hey, I gotta watch that shit, dog. He was like, yeah, I was supposed to go to Syracuse, but you know what I'm saying? It's the coach acting stupid. He came out, put another. He's like, oh, you go to Rutgers? And that shit was hilarious, bro. But shit, So what made you go to Shaw then?
I ain't went to JUCO or whatever.
What JUCO?
I went to Lackawanna.
Oh, okay.
Lackawanna or whatever. So I had one there, good season. You know, I only went there 1 year. I should have went for 2. I should have stayed both of my years, but a little altercation happened with one of my teammates and shit. It wasn't like with the coach or nothing. One of my teammates did some wild shit. You know, long story short, they had police involved, and I wasn't going back up there and get me put in the jam. So I ended up there. My man was like, "Hey man, look, you come to my school, you come to Shaw, they accept your ass anytime." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Bro, you could go down here, come down here and apply, and they accept you." I was like, "Man, I need to finish school." So I was like, "Man," but I was thinking, man, I'm like, "Damn, man, on scholarship." I'm like, "Man, I was on scholarship up here." I'm like, "Man, I ain't really trying to go play for no school, but I ain't trying to go to jail neither."
Yeah, that's right.
I was like, "Man, shh. Oh, I'm gonna come down there." I came down there. I ain't even applied. He said, "Just pack your shit, bro. You good?" I packed all my shit. Went down there, and I went to the little financial aid on. They was like, "Have you applied?" I was like, "Nah." They was like, "Sit here at this table." I applied. So as I applied, I called my JUCO. They transferred my credits over, and they was like, "Well, you've been accepted in financial aid, blah blah blah." And that's how I got in there. And then went on there with the team. I had my JUCO coach call down there. My JUCO coach was actually upset, like mad that I went down there. He was like, "Why you?" Cause I had 1 more year, and like they was expecting, you know what I mean, expecting the most. Like, and it was crazy, cause
You getting buckets down there?
yeah, I was cool. I ain't gonna sit here and say I was getting like no 20s, 25s or none of that, but I was just like, I was just solid. Because it was because the head coach had got fired. So the assistant coach had got the job, and he like everybody from this area. Like, he from Texas though, but he like, matter of fact, Marcus Ashton was one of his players. So he was like, yeah. And then when I came up there, Marcus was like, "Man, you coming up here?" I was like, "Yeah, man." Whoa. Whole time, like Marcus like, "Man, why you ain't come before? I'm about to leave." And Marcus was gone and shit. So, but the head coach had got fired or whatever, and the assistant coach had took over. He the one had recruited me. So he was just like, "Man, I want to put you on the team, da 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 da." And I was like, "Man," I just felt like he was trying to put me in a trick bag, like to get me caught up in that jam with one of my teammates, cause he got caught stealing all this shit and blah 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 blah. So I was like, "Nah."
So you chose us, man.
I was like, "Man, I ain't trust it." And I just want my grandma. My grandmother said the same thing. She was like, "Don't trust that shit. Your ass go to jail up there." There's some more up there. And so boom. And I'm going to Shaw, but my coach, he definitely did. He looked out. He called the head coach down there and told him, "Yeah, I got a player, blah, blah, blah." So I went through the little trial or whatever, made the team. And then, but our school, like, this Shaw, like DC, like just like DC, PG, like DC, the DMV down there, like run the school. Like I'm talking about, like I'm talking about, like
That's believable.
Didn't bro that play with you went down there?
To Shaw?
Yeah, he played with PG Vallis.
I went to Shaw.
I figured his name. Fuck it.
yeah, I'm talking about
I
like.
don't pay
But
attention to that, but
he like we like run the school, so like a big ass fight happened or whatever, and like the coaches down there, they don't like DC people for real, like, cause they always say we starting shit, DMV people and shit. So long story short, altercation broke out. I wasn't nowhere to be found. I wasn't even there. My name got into it. Got back to them.
We know how that
And that's what it was. But it wasn't like I was on scholarship, so I didn't really care. So I was gonna get that scholarship though. I know the next year.
They do, for sure.
Yeah.
They try not to give them tag, no nothing.
Good.
I walked on the gear and I was cooking all of them, but he put me on the team, but
you ain't the one he was recruiting,
I
bro.
guess it's the investment they have in the other players. They'd rather play them, see what comes out of them, rather than play
we
you.
did agree in.
Recreation management.
That's tough.
So my question is, what made you like start doing comedy?
Comedy? Oh man.
That's what a lot of people know.
That's
So the comedy shit came from like, my whole life, like I just been like funny, like since I'm talking about like since I was a kid, So I was like, man, if I ain't gonna make it to the league to be on TV, I gotta figure out some type of way to make TV screen. So I started doing the comedy shit, and Vine came out.
I was about to say you did that, cause I know that's how like a lot of people start getting in,
Right.
like the little Vine, then they get IG videos, then Twitter, like it's just like so much shit.
You were so pussy on that thing. So.
I don't think that's why.
Nah, bro, he
My
wild.
soul people was so pussy. That's why they was like, all right, this is enough, y'all. And they
Y'all ever bought pussy
bro,
from Vine?
I didn't even know he did that.
Why do you know? Why do you know?
Then they started pussy on TikTok.
Boy,
Yeah.
Caught him a lip.
He said, I'm trying to see more than this 6 seconds. You feel me?
Yeah. When Vine, I had got on Vine or whatever and shit, and my man Banner, he used to always, him and my man Smacks, my man Banner, like, everybody know who Banner is, but they don't know who he is, but they hear his voice. So like, when y'all used to hear that little voice, that's my man Banner. Like, he went viral for that. Like, that's his voice. That's his voice. Like, that's his voice. Like, they had a game, Don't Step on the Yeet, with his voice on it, and little apps and shit. Nah,
You gotta trademark it, bro.
Yeah,
You gotta
so-
trademark it.
After that, he was like, man, you know what I mean? He was like, man, bro, we about to jump off, we about to take off, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, all right, shit, let's do it. So, of course, I dropped the Scotty 2 Addy video.
Scotty too high,
Hey.
too crack into the
Hey.
flame, all the place I do.
Hey.
I just chop.
That shit went viral. I was like, man, that's a viral joint. But I need something like.
Well, I was saying that shit all in school.
That's a viral joint, but I'm like, man, I gotta get something more like viral. Cause Banner went from like, my man Banner, we was all like the same. It was me, him, and Malik. Y'all know Malik from Eat? Yeah, it was us three.
I don't know him.
It was us three. We was called DC Invasion. So we was going against like other cities and states and shit. Like we really was going against like Tokyo, Super, like them girls from New Orleans, like the girl, the fat girl, big ass girl, Tokyo. Like we was really beefing with them. Like it was really like having like competitions, like going at them, joining against each other, blah 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 blah.
Oh no, I don't think nobody's beating anybody from the DMV with Jones.
So we got on with that.
There's one dude that's funny as shit.
We got on with that, and it got real, it got deep, like to the point like they was like about to plan a trip to come up here to fight us, all type of shit, like they coming up here to fuck us up, all type of shit.
Like DMV Jones.
So that's when Banner went viral. The dude from New Orleans, K. Carmouche, he had the little CD. He was a rapper or something, but he was like, he had like 300,000 followers on Vine. I mean, Banner, with his little 10,000 followers, he took the nigga CD and was like, and like the whole world just started doing that shit. Like,
I remember that shit.
he went from like 12K to like 90K in like a week. Like 12,000 to like 90,000 in a week. And I was like, fuck. And he was like, bro, all you gotta do, just drop a video. I'm gonna just keep revining, keep revining. So I did Scotty 2 Addy. That went viral. I was like, man, that's just us. That's DMV. I'm like, nah, I gotta do something right. So I just said, boom, I got something. Had my man from New York, one of my niggas from New York and shit that was went to school with me. He was living in an apartment with me and shit. I was like, man, look, I got this skit, bro. Just follow my lead. All you gotta do is just follow my lead. And I dropped the Missy Elliott skit that I can't stand the range on. I dropped that. The next morning I woke up, I went from like 15K, I went to like 15 to like 70. Like within a week it was like 70K, but I went from like 15K to like within a day probably to like 22. I was like, damn. I was like,
They gonna
oh,
make
so
you do
by the
some
end of
skits
the
out
week-
this joke.
So by the end of the week, probably like by the end of the week, I was probably like at like 30, but like end of the month I was like at 70K. So I was like, damn, like, that's how, all you gotta do is just one thing and it's gonna go viral. So they had the little roast me joint on Vine. We used to get the joning on people like from other states and shit. Like they had like a little roast me joint. So they had me go against some girl from New York. Like she was a girl, she used to join. She was cool though. She was cool. And she had like, I said she probably had like 40K. But she was known for joning. Like, she was pretty and all that. Like, I can't think of it. It was Queen something. She was cool. She was joning and shit. So how they used to do it was they have the people from the little roast me page. They'd send you their password, and there's, you know how Vine, you drop a video, then the next person drop a video. Like they have, she do her video first, and then I go next. So then we just both upload it. Hers will go first and then mine. So it was like best out of 3 rounds or something. It was best out of 3 rounds. So she won the first round. Cause I wasn't trying to go like hard.
Nah, you gotta go hard.
Like,
bro.
female.
You gotta go hard, bro.
She came hard, like, oh yeah. So I was like, ooh, so my mans are calling me. They like, I know you ain't gonna let her cook you like that, bruh. I know you not. I'm like, man, look, she ain't broad. They like, nah, nigga, this is worldwide. Everybody watching it. So, boom. I think we tied the second round. Like I ain't go too hard. So the third round she went. And I was like, man, I can't lose. So boom. I said something, they said everybody, the fans were like, it was a tie again. So they was like, man, y'all gotta go 2 more rounds, best out of 5. The last 2 rounds, I was like, man, fuck it, I ain't showing no sympathy.
Should have been like that off the break.
They was like, why you ain't been just do they could have been there then? Like I was like, nah, she a female, so after that, I won or whatever. And then you go to the next week, and I went against the nigga from California or something. He won, I don't know how he won, the shit was corny. He was like, I think he won. We won in the overtime too. He won. He said some shit. It was funny as shit though, cause he was talking about my voice or something. That's how I think he won that, cause of that shit. I think he was like, I sound like I've been on a cigarette commercial or some shit like that. And I was like, oh shit. Yeah. That shit was coming. But he won it. He won that shit though. But I had got invited back on the shit. I was like, I'll do it again. I did it again. And I won again. But then I was like, man, that shit ain't nothing. But that shit just like for followers and shit. Cause their page had like 1 point. Huh? Yeah, people was following me. People would be like, man, you funny as shit. Blah, 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 blah. A lot of people was like that. But that's how I ended up meeting Fly, DC. Yeah. That's how I ended up meeting DC and Fly and shit. So he was like, he was the same way, right? Yeah, he was like the judge of the shit. Yeah. He was like the judge of the shit. So like when I was battling, like when I go against people, he was like, man, he used to always jump me like, man, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. That nigga Loso funny as shit from DC. That nigga funny as hell, bro. Like he like, cause I was really like, after I battled the broad, like after I battled her, I was really just on straight bacon shit. Like I'm like just cook everything moving now. Like I ain't even on no other shit. So that happened. Fly actually my man. Like I could call him. Like I be following him on the ground. That's my man. Like, I got his number and all that. Like that's my man. So like, and we met. It's crazy because we met through Vine. You know what I mean? Like he met through Vine. Huh? It was that long ago. Yeah, it was that long ago. We met through Vine and shit. So. And from there, I just kept going. Then Vine finally like got distinct and shit. Shit just went out. It was over with. I'm like, damn, like when it, yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? No, Instagram was out.
They started doing the videos.
They started doing the videos. So I was like, man, fuck. I'm like, man.
They had to do the videos and shit.
The gram had the 15 seconds. Niggas was like, man, shit, I'm going on the gram, but like. Niggas was like, shit, that's 6 seconds. If you could be funny in 6 seconds, you like that.
Yep.
So that's how I went.
A lot of niggas couldn't do that in 15 seconds, bro.
15 seconds, you like, damn, like, I still got this much time left.
I was about to say, but the crazy
gotta add
part
this.
is, it seemed like so short to us now, but them clips used to just run.
Yeah.
It'd be funny as
I
hell.
wanted to have DMs.
Yeah.
People used to be under the comments crazy.
Yeah.
Saying some wild shit. Be like, yeah, can we get this dick under comments? A girl. Just
Alright, we not on the same.
Oh.
What you on? Whatever site you
Oh.
on, bro.
Mama said this on the ass.
Nah, they did have like a little Vine after dark shit though. Like
Nah, I
it
ain't
wasn't
know.
no, it wasn't no,
See that?
it wasn't an app. It was on Vine, but like it'd be called like Vine after dark, and they like people really be on there like showing themselves and shit like that, like girls, niggas
horny
and shit. Nah, I want all that. Like I scroll through like on my page, and they be like, say like one of them little famous bras that's on Vine, they be showing themselves naked or something for 6 seconds.
Have to tap in, see what it's
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
Look, look.
check it out.
We'll go download TikTok. See, it's a TikTok I did that.
So you get tied into like McKenton and Pap and all that.
Oh, so,
And Goofy.
all right, well, Pap,
That's what I want to ask you.
He funny
Okay.
as shit, dog. Shout out
Pap. Yeah, shout out to Pap, man. Shout out to all of them, man. So Pap
They all doing
wasn't,
their
Pap
thing.
was on Vine. This how I met Pap. So I had a game down once,
Yeah.
and he had came to me and shit was like, hey, bro, you funny as shit, bro. Like, we need to do some skits together. I'm like, shit, I mean, what's up? He was like, man, I'm on Vine, but my shit some shit. He was like, bro, I only got like 300 followers. I'm like, man, shit, we could do something. We talked about it or whatever. And then he did that one video on Instagram, and his shit blew up.
What video you talking about? I think I know what
The
you
joint, that shit made shit made the Ball Alert page. It made the World Star. I forgot what video it was. He did one video. It was when he was in the security outfit. He did one video.
I think I know what you talk about.
When he was like, he proposed to the girl, and he was like, look, I'm trying to marry you. And then she was like, man, you playing. And he pulled the Glock out, and he was like, yeah.
That was the second video that went viral. After he did his first video, that joint that he had in a security suit, I forgot, he was at work.
Niggas funny.
Actually,
I heard he got fired for
yeah,
that.
he actually got fired for that shit. Like, you know what I mean? He went viral and shit. So I was like, damn, the nigga just started booming. And this one, like, Instagram was just starting to get.
Oh no, I'm talking about bro pulled out like.
Bro, look, the video's like, he was like, yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. I just like want to marry you. And she was like, man, you playing, dog. So he put out Glock. He was like, I'm not playing with you, man, marry me. And she's like, all right, y'all, let's go get some wings now. Come on.
Niggas
That
funny.
joint went viral too. That joint made World Star. But that's how I met Pap though. McKenton and Goofies, I met them like on Vine. Like they was like McKenton and Goofies, like shout out to them. They was at like 300K, 400K, but we all started at the same time. See, this is another thing I tell people.
Y'all around the same
At least they collabing
Like-
too. Like that's dope to me. Like DMV niggas collabing and shit.
Yeah, this what happened with me on Vine. So like when Vine first came out, we all started at the same time. We all had like probably like 60 followers a piece. But I had deleted my Vine, and I had did one video. I did one video on my Vine, and my man, I was joining on my man for like 6 seconds. He had some 990s, but he cut the back of them and made them slippers.
Oh man.
So like.
They funny as shit.
Like he made it like it really looked like a slipper with a tennis shoe, like tennis shoe strings. He cut the back of them. So I posted that video. That shit went boom, and I was like, man, this shit's stupid, and I deleted the app. So like I told you, like a month later, 1 or 2 later, my man Banner called me. He was like, bro, you need to get back on Vine. This the shit. And I go back to the Goofies and McKenton page. The niggas was at like 100K, 100,000. I'm like, damn. I said, damn, if I would have never deleted my Vine, I probably would have been up there with them. So, but yeah, I met McKenton like on the Vine and shit. He used to be taking like tours and shit. So like, he used to be like real loud, like driving his car and shit. Like, man, we about to come to this school, come to this HBCU. And he ended up
Going towards.
yeah. He was like, man, I'm about to come down. And so I was like, man, shit. This the time I was booming and shit. I was like, man, shit, I'm gonna reach out to the nigga, cause he was following me and shit. I'm gonna see if he gonna come. I'm like, yeah, man, you about to go down A&T. Before you get to A&T, you gotta stop past Shaw. He was like, he wrote back, I was like, all right, send me your address.
fucking with straw.
I sent him the nigga address, sent him to my apartment and shit. He knock on the door, he like, man, what's up, Loso? He came in. Him and Goofy was there. We've been clicking ever since. You know what I mean?
So I do got a question with something currently that's going on with Aunt Glizzy.
Oh yeah.
He going
I'm
hard.
not gonna ask you to choose sides. I
Glizzy
just
going
wonder
hard.
who you think winning at the moment.
It's more like,
I don't know
Because they
about
did
winning.
squash it, they did say it was over, but Ant had Pop a couple times, but then Pop came back with some. So who?
I mean,
who
like-
won that?
That
like
funny
to
as
me,
shit, bro.
like to me, I think the shit goofy because like they taking it to the extreme, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Pop was on some chill shit. He wasn't really.
yeah.
He responded at first, but then he came back and was like, "Oh yeah, you fucking up my business now." You know.
Honestly, bro, I wasn't even
Yeah.
paying attention to that shit, to be honest.
Nah,
So-
that shit was funny. Ant was
It was-
really on his ass.
Like,
That nigga going hard from the
like,
jump.
act on some 50 Cent shit right now. Like,
Facts, that's a fact.
on some 50 shit. Like, he saying whatever the fuck he want to say. He don't give a fuck who got nothing to say about it. Who got something to say about it. So, like some of that shit be funny, but some of that shit be corny to me. So I be like that shit be like, I be like, man, you ain't gotta, that ain't everybody business, bruh. Like, some of the shit, but like he said though, like, people sending this shit to him.
Yeah.
So like, he just bold enough to post the shit, bold enough to like expose the shit.
Okay, now that I see it from that point of view, I agree. If he's not, going looking for it,
Yeah,
then it is.
yeah, like it ain't like he going around like, hey, send me this, send me that, da da da. Like, people really sending him that shit because they know he bold enough, and it can be somebody that don't like Pap, that know shit about Pap. Like, oh yeah, I can send it to Ant, he gonna expose the shit, cause Ant don't give a fuck. So go ahead and do it. So
So, the next thing I want to get into is your ties with Go-Go and T.O.B. How you get tied in with T.O.B.?
Bro, I used to be at all them jokes.
I get,
cuz.
you said hi.
I started with T.O.B.
The Bells beat came out.
You're
nigga.
original member, right?
I've been at TLB since I was 12 years old, man.
Yeah. So, like, how y'all, like,
What,
came up
nigga?
with- y'all started
All the
doing Go-Go?
jokes. cuz.
So that's what happened. It came up. Of course, we was young and shit. This one back then, like Go-Go, yeah, Go-Go.
Live. nigga.
Actually, just starting to come back to like
At the
the
little
old
curves.
ways. Back in the day, cause I'm just like older. Like, I'm 31. So like back in the day when I was growing up, Go-Go was like you know how rap in this generation is the shit. Go-Go was the shit.
I was in high school.
I was at all the Go-Go's.
Go-Go, look.
All the.
That be that footwork game.
You don't know about
Crazy.
that.
I was going
Exactly, the
I
brown
was
manners
going
and all that
hard.
shit. Like,
Yeah.
Go-Go was the shit back then.
That Joe beat my feet and shit. Cause
That 2000 area to like, I say to like 2000 or like
13.
2013, and then that's when that rap shit started coming and started taking over a little bit. But we had a band, the shit, I'm an original member, so we had a band around my neighborhood, around the quarters. That's where I'm from. So we,
I know a lot of y'all.
so we had a little band or whatever, and Chris, our lead Mike and shit, he was the singer for another band. So the other band, they was called After Dark. So
It's a lot of after dark shit.
yeah, it was
definitely
called
never
After
heard
Dark.
of them,
Yeah,
cuz.
it was called After Dark, man. So we was all young as shit. We was just like, man, we was trying to figure out. But my band, we really had shows. We really had shows and shit. So it was me, my man Flip, my man East, a bunch of us. We had like my man Arvo. He was on the mic. Arvo went to Bacchus. He went to Bacchus middle school with Chris and them. And we had kicked Arvo out of our band because he was on the mic. But him and my man used to always get into it. Like, we all from the same neighborhood. So Arvo was like, fuck y'all. Like, woo. He was on the mic with us. Next thing you know, he come back, he was on the drums with the After Dark, man. I'm like, what the fuck? So we didn't have no manager in our band. Our band we was like, for us to be like 12 and 13 years old, we was well structured. We managed ourselves, all that shit. Like back then, it
12 and
wasn't about,
13?
yeah, back then it
hard.
wasn't about,
That is.
it wasn't about the money. It was about the culture. Like, we didn't give a fuck about the money. We just wanted to play. Like, we wanted to show our talent. So, we got a show. Shout out to my man, Uncle Burry, and the Life Clothing line. He had like, man, look, we got a band, we trying, we trying to play at your show. He was like, man, all right, we'll see. So we went to the club, I'm talking about we was carrying equipment. Like carrying the keyboards and all that shit. I wasn't even playing the keyboard then, I was on the mic. So we got to the show, and he was like, man, the nigga Uncle Burry was like, man, oh man, I forgot, I told y'all could play. He was like, damn, so you gonna make us come all the way up here for nothing? Like, wah. He was like, man, I'm gonna get y'all next week, So my man was like, nah, hell nah. Like, nah, we got at least give us 10 minutes or something. He was like, all right, I'm gonna work with y'all. And he gave us like 15 minutes. We had the crowd moving, and nigga was like, damn, these young niggas cranking. So he did that. We was on the fly each and every week. That was for my old band. Now the TOB time come, probably like after Club Mo's got shut down, we ain't had no more shows. So we was like, man, fuck it. We just looked at it like, cause we was young, like, man, fuck that shit. We don't got no manager. Fuck this band shit. So I remember my man Arvo we kicked out the band. He was like, man, look, I got a band. We we can do this. So my man Flip went over there. Boom. Flip went over there. After Flip went over there, Big Fry went over there. They was over there together. So they was like, man, we need a keyboard player. Now, mind you, I was just naturally talented to learn how to play the keyboard. So
that shit hard as hell.
From my old band, this is what happened. My man Quet from my old band and shit, he got punished. We had a show. Remember I was telling you we was playing already Saturday at the Club Mo's night. His mother wanted, she was like, no, he can't come.
Y'all was 13 and 12.
Yeah,
like
she
that.
was like, he can't go. He fucked up in school. He can't go. So they was like, man, who else gonna play the keyboard this week? Like all the songs. I used to watch Quet play the shit, so I knew how to play it. So I was like, man, and Quet used to teach me how to play the shit. They was like, Black, you the only person that know how to play it. You gotta play the keyboard tonight. I'm like, bro, I'm not playing that shit. Like, I'm not doing it. They was like, bro, you gotta do it. We got to, bro. We ain't gonna be able to play. So I played the shit. Next thing you know, they was like, you want to be the keyboard player. I'm like, what?
Hey, bro.
I'm like, what?
Quack.
So boom.
Get your spot back, bro.
Quack couldn't play. Quack, shout out to my nigga Quack, man. Good sandbox homie. Quack couldn't play no more. Then we broke up with the band. So then, like I said, Flip went over to after Doc. And Big Fry went over there. He was like, man, we need a keyboard player. They called me. He was like, bruh, you want to play the keyboard, bro? T.O.B., we got a manager and all that. I'm like, if we got a manager, I'll do it. You know what I mean? So went over there, went to practice. They was like, man, this is all the music right here. And I learned the shit. And one day they was like, damn, you like that? I'm like, nah, I ain't like that. Shit just common sense. I'm just watching you do it. And I can do the same thing and listen to the music. So as time got on, we started having shows. Like shows. I'm like, damn. They like, and I knew all the music and shit. Like, from what they showed me the music, they like, damn, bro. Like, Chris was like, man, so you gonna play with the band, right? I'm like, I don't want to play on the keyboard. I'm not no keyboard player. He like, well, bro, you know the shit. Like, you know it, so you might as well just do it. And I was like, man, fuck it. We ain't number 11, 12 years old, so like, fuck it, I'm gonna do the shit. So as the years go by, we getting older and older. I'm just getting better. So like now I'm really learning how to like play chords, play music, and all this shit. I'm like, damn, I fell in love with that shit. I was like, I love the keyboard shit now. Like, I can't see myself playing no other instrument besides the timbales or the congos or something. But like, they be like, man, you wanna learn how to play the bass? No, fuck that shit. I like the keyboard. I like to play keys. So time goes by, we getting older, like playing at like the DC Tunnel and the Mad Chef and shit like that. We growing up, and you just see the environment of people and people really liking our music. As we youngers, like they used to call us the cranking kids, the go-go. T.O.B. was like, what? But like, what make you so mad though? Like now, what makes me mad now? Yeah, what makes me upset now? Like that we're adults. People still be saying like them young boys. Like I'm a grown ass man now. Like
That's what I was gonna ask.
Wow.
How was the transition?
That is funny because y'all just like OGs.
yeah, we like.
Young, but y'all.
I mean, like people like of course like Big G and all that. But like I'm talking about like niggas that was in bands when we was in bands coming up. Like we was really like I remember like the shit was like no exaggeration. I won't lie to you right now. This shit was like the Jackson 5. Like in TLB, like y'all seen the Jackson 5 movie? You know how they used to be like Jackson 5 to the stage and all the girls, I swear my right hand to God, that's how it used to be.
Why was they saying TLB about to come? Everybody going to the front.
TLB to the stage, I'm talking about all the girls, running to the stage and all that. Like it really felt like we was like that shit really felt like we was like celebrities as kids. Like I'm talking about like shit was crazy. Like we young. What? Talking about like I'm gonna give you a story.
Home team after dark.
Alright, so I managed Tina B and shit. You know who our Tamale player was, right?
I think
Young
so.
Bleach.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Bleach. So young Bleach, you know what I mean? That was Boogie. That's what we used to call him Boogie because it was our Tamale player. His mother was our manager. So she used to go to work. Like say like we'd stay the whole band would stay in her house for the summer. Like, you know what I mean? Like niggas like keeping 100, like Chris and all them niggas ain't go to school. Them niggas hooked school and stayed in the house. Like, you know what I mean? Regular niggas like them niggas was like doing shit as a young nigga. Like they weren't into the sports and shit like that. They was real live out here hustling, making money at 12, 13 years old. So, but I was into the sports and shit, so, you know what I mean? But Gleesh's mother used to go to work and shit. So, like, of course, we was playing at shows every week. You know what I mean? So, of course, it was like the little female groups, BTO honeys and unexpected honeys, X-rated honeys, all them Southwest honeys. So, one story I got, we had the BTO, the 501 joints, 501 girls. 501 honeys came over. In the Southwest, everybody had like each group, everybody used to talk to somebody. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck if you was the ugliest nigga in the band. If you played in TLB, you was gonna get you some ass. Like it was straight like that. So like, Gleesh's mother would be gone to work. She'd be gone all day long. She'd leave out 8 in the morning. Mind you, I told you it's the summertime. Yeah. Summertime. Mind you, it's the summertime. Niggas ain't going to summer school. Niggas just in there all day until we go to the show. She come back. She get off of work like 6 or 7 at night. We in the house, man. We making phone calls like, hey, man, y'all come over. Boom. So one day, we had a big ass altercation. The 501 drinks was over there, and Gleesh B. Fry had called the Southwest drinks over there. Mind you, 501 and Southwest used to be beefing back in the day, like heavy, like that shit was like to the max, like shit was crazy. So I look out the window, I'm like, man, what the fuck? I'm like, why the fuck is Panky and them about to walk in here? I'm like, and they and them in here. So I said, B. Fry, did you? He like, yeah. He said, yeah, I didn't know Gleesh was gonna call them over here. So boom. Now we all in the jam, like they walking up. We in the house with these joints. We telling these joints like, oh shit, cause we didn't want them to fight. If they would have saw each other like right then and there, it would have went straight at it. It would have been on. And it made it seem like we set it up. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then Gleesh's mother would have found out, and we'd have been fucked over. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like she'd have kicked all our ass up. Yeah, no so we was like, man, yup, no show tonight, man. We'd have been suspended for stupid shit like that. I got another story for you like that. But look, so this shit coming in, so like they coming in, they walking up down the street. I'm like, oh fuck. So I go on the front porch. I look, they all over the street because I can hear them talk. They loud as shit. So I run out. I run in the house. I'm like, bro, we go. So they like, what? They like, Tina coming? I'm like, nah, Tina ain't coming. Such and such and them coming. So West Jump's coming. They like, oh, fuck. So Glee's like, all right, man, y'all bitches got rolled. Like he said the shit like that. But they trying to go out the front door. But we lied to them and told them that his mother was coming. She wasn't. It was the other joints. So we pushed them out the back door. They go out the back door. While they going out the back door, the other joints coming in through the front door. So now we in the house. We all talking. They all loud shit. He like, Glee's telling like, man, calm down. Like y'all too loud. The other bitches hit him in there.
Oh, they busted you or they like, fuck y'all doing this.
Knocking on the door. So we never opened the door. So they like, who y'all got outside? The other joints. We like, man, don't worry about it. So, boom. The other joints finally go out the back door, out the backyard and shit. Go up. They come around. One of the Southwest joints open the door. Now they have a street. They see them. They say, I know they ain't them. Oh, there it is. Boom. Took off. I said, man, Glee's like, oh, y'all bitches got rolled. Get the fuck off this block. Where they lived at, it was like a good ass neighborhood, like white people and shit. So like, you couldn't. We was already loud because we was kids in that joint, in that neighborhood. So all them people, bro, it was like a big ass brawl at the station, all types of shit, man.
I said y'all had sense enough to be like, y'all already loud.
All right, before we get to the question of the day, I do want to ask.
I got a couple more stuff, though.
We got time.
What time is it?
I was saying, we're going on 50 minutes.
I got 2 more questions.
All right. But I just want to know what side had the baddest bitches, because now y'all understand why y'all kicked them out.
Fuck that.
On what side had the baddest bitches between them two?
Yeah.
Man,
The one you was kicking out or the ones y'all was letting in?
it don't matter. They all get hit.
That's how back then. That was the whole house. Like niggas was fucking
Niggas girls. Niggas was like, just cause this shit just wanted to fuck a nigga. Like, oh man.
Like, you ain't tell me shit.
Oh, to
Come
me,
on, man. Slide this man from bed.
Like I said, but I ain't gonna. I say it was even. It was even because it was some joints from West that look good and some joints from.
Stab the little bitches going to the go-go used to be the joke.
How was it being like? How did it feel? And like, what was your experience like being like the theme music for DC? Pretty much the DMV Black Lives Matter movement.
Oh,
So I was following the truck, bro. I was.
oh, you talking about Black Lives Matter Plaza joint?
As soon as I stopped, nigga, I was.
Pretty much anytime anybody had a protest or
Yeah. We always out there. That shit, man. That shit. Like I said, like the Go-Go Awards. Matter of fact, make sure y'all vote for TOB for Band of the Year,
For sure.
for Band of the Year, and Bounce Me Band of the Year. Like I felt like we did that shit. Like we all came together and sat down and like shout out to my manager Rod. Like the nigga's a genius. Rod is a fucking genius. Like the smartest nigga I know. It was like, but we was all like, we hungry. So like, when the pandemic happened, cause you know the pandemic happened during the Black Lives Matter shit, nobody was playing nowhere. Like people wasn't going to band practice. We was like one of the only bands practicing. Like still, we was like, man, fuck that. Niggas had COVID in the band and all that. Niggas was like, fuck that shit. Like, yeah. Niggas had COVID. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I had COVID. I had that shit like, what is it, like April? I had it for like 3-4 days. Like they say it's like a 14-day, but you get some elderberry and get that natural herb shit. That shit get out your system quick.
Ginger ale.
Yeah.
Black remedies.
The
grandma remedies and
I
shit.
was like, man, we ain't gonna let this shit stop us. Like, so like, we was hungry.
So like, when they was like, man, we got this band. Shout out to my nigga Yada Yada. Like he was like, man, I'm rocking with TOB all the way. So of course our manager asked was like, do y'all want to play? You know, it's COVID going on. Niggas is just like, man, fuck that. Like we want to play. Like we don't care. Like we missed the shit so much because of the pandemic. We was missing so much money. Like we was missing so much money, and like we was like, man, this is history. Like we're really gonna be a part of history.
Yeah.
So like being a part of that shit, like that's what we looked at. Niggas wasn't even looking at it for the money. We was looking at it for like history. Like we still trying to make history. Like
Then,
We are trying to play at the inauguration, like shit like that.
That'd
We
be
looking
tough.
over like every time before every show, we always say 1, 2, 3, let's make history. Like we trying to make history. Like we trying to do shit that other bands ain't do yet.
Yeah.
So who's your top 5 go-go band right now?
All time or right now?
We can do all time.
All time.
Y'all want to do
Go
all time?
yeah.
Okay, all time. Of course, back. Of course, us.
Not including y'all.
Okay, not including us. Okay,
Shit, damn, my top 5
Back
too,
it.
bitch.
They're my top 5 too,
I'm
but
about
just
to
not
say.
including them right now.
Backyard,
Shit, I would include.
Backyard, TCB,
Mm-hmm.
the original TCB with Polo.
Yeah. Rest in peace,
Backyard
Polo.
TCB. I'm gonna say MOB. Oh my God, MOB, one of my favorites all time.
Look at them. Renegade.
Not include us. I once.
Ayo, definitely.
Ayo. I ain't gonna lie, I love Ayo. I love them young boys. And I'm gonna probably go
You
for
got
my
it.
5th.
If you don't say them.
Ayo. It's a tie between Reaction and ABM.
That's what I was gonna say. You gotta say these ones now.
Let's say
Who your top
Reaction.
5?
My top 5. Renegade, T.O.B.
Renegade, my
Honorable mention?
Yeah, my honorable mention. That's my honorable mention.
I fucked you. Hey girl, I've been watching you for a while. It's alright. Who is it? Renegade, T.O.B. Reaction, CCB.
Dang, XIB.
I'm gonna say XIB too.
I was gonna say XIB.
Who yours?
They had
I really didn't listen to Go like that, so.
I was fucking that too.
Mine probably. You gotta go Reaction. I'm gonna go AAO. ABM before 2012. I'm gonna go TOB.
Dang, A2C?
I gotta go Drama Squad. I gotta go Drama Squad. Drama Squad.
Yeah, band from PG.
Facts. But I mean, let's go ahead and get to the question of the day. What was the question of the day?
If you were proposed to.
Oh yeah.
She say no.
So, if a man proposed to a girl, anybody can answer this. If a man proposed to a girl and she rejects you, are you still like talking to her? Is the relationship over?
What size is the proposal? Is it in front of everybody or is it just y'all two?
It don't matter.
Nah, it's a difference.
No, it ain't.
It's no
Shit,
difference.
no, bro.
If
She
it's a
proposed to you,
private,
if you propose to him, I mean, if he proposed to the shawty, and she say nah in front of anybody or nobody,
Fuck no.
is the relationship
nah to
over?
me, it's over.
She do it in front of 1,000 people, and she say no.
Y'all in the mall and she say no.
see, that's what people.
See, I got
All right, let's
say-
do people first. Let's do people first.
I mean,
we got kids together or like
Nah, y'all just
together?
yeah.
Oh, that shit over.
Yeah, the relationship is over.
That shit over.
yeah, it gotta be over. Because
Yeah.
obviously, if I'm fucking with you heavy,
Right.
and
But you
ain't-
love her.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You
saying.
told me no.
Obviously,
man.
you don't love me if you don't want to marry me. If I want to marry you, you don't want to marry me.
She might not be ready.
No such thing, bro.
Right, we're at two different times in life then.
Exactly.
That means
I gotta go.
Right.
So y'all answers gotta go.
Our mindsets aren't
I'm
meeting.
not waiting for that shit. I'm not waiting for
I
you
go
to
move on
come
to the next one. I go the same thing I'm doing with you. I can go do that with the next joint.
Oh, I'm in T.O.B.
If I do that, I would wait a little bit. Like I'd dip for like maybe 2 days, and then I'd hit her back and tell her meet me, and like we discuss why her answer was no.
That's why
And if her
I
answer was no and it's valid,
I'm
then
not
I'd be
giving
like, all right,
chances.
we could still, you know what I'm saying, roll.
But that's
if
why
her
I
answer
asked,
not
'cause people
valid,
won't be there.
then we gotta dip.
Because if people aren't there, then you can have that conversation right then and there.
Ah,
but
yeah, I
if
see
people
what
are
you
there, you can't have that conversation. You can't be like, oh, why?
I'm a real nigga. I'm just keeping on. I ain't getting married till I'm like 50, 60 something.
Yeesh, why?
He said, I'm T.O.B. I'm T.O.B.
I can't see myself like in the band, like I'm just around it too much. So like I can't just. I mean, I got a girl and all that, but like I can't just sit there and just be like, I'm gonna get married because like marriage comes with a whole lot.
It's
Like,
a lot.
you gotta-
I
it's
agree.
a lot of time. That's a lot of time. Like my girl already be mad at me now because I don't be having no time like to do shit.
I don't even like to be around my girl for more than a day if I had one.
That shit is irritating. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, sooner or later, dog, like You seen a lot of pussy, so I mean, you gotta be like, man, I'm sick of this shit, dog. Like,
Just no time soon. I'm still young.
All right, so with Rondo, what you doing? You breaking up with her
Oh,
or?
you told me no, it's over.
It's
talking
over?
about-
Yeah,
You
that's
ain't talking about it, ain't no discussion. You gave me no in public or private, bro. You ain't got nothing to say to me after that.
All right,
I'm hurt, bro.
one more little question before we get up out of here. So, how would you played in the pits with me a couple of times? Well, not with YOLO team, but with the museum a couple of times. How you get hooked up with them? Like,
Shout out to the
what are they? Are they like they're just a clothing brand or like?
they like a foundation. Like they like somebody I knew when I was a
Shout out
kid.
museum too.
Shout out like Hanif, Muhammad, like those.
Who's the
are like,
owner?
Huh?
Who's the owner?
They're all.
Okay.
I fuck with clothes.
So Muhammad, like he was Wale's stylist. I know Muhammad. Y'all probably know who Hanif is. Hanif has like contract with KD, Durant, and all that. Like, Monkey, all that. He works out NBA players. Like Hanif. But he used to coach.
I know exactly who he is. He used to work me out when I was
Short.
13. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He used to work out.
Number 10, Recreation Center.
Yeah. He used to work me out. Yeah. I left his ass though. But shout out to you, bro. Cause he had me doing guard drills and I wasn't ready to be a guard yet. Yeah, I wasn't ready to be a guard
You
yet.
still not really been doing.
Yeah.
But I known him since I was a kid, like playing rec ball and shit like that. Muhammad was like one of the people like I used to want to be like his brother.
Yeah.
Lord Muhammad, like this nigga was on a hand one. He was on a hand one video. He was on a hand one.
You made that.
I forgot what volume it was, but he's at UDC. He threw it on the backboard. The nigga turned around. Muhammad was like 13 at the time. 13, 14 years old on hand one. So I was like, you know what I mean? I just used to look up to him a lot. You know what I mean? And Muhammad used to be Wale's stylist for like clothing. Like him, Trey from UCB, they had their what the hell Wale label was called, whatever the shit was called, but his little label and shit. They used to come up like when they came up to Shaw and shit. When Wale was the man, like when he was booming. He was on the HBCU tour and shit, and the nigga Wale, this one Vine was out. Nigga Wale had came, and Muhammad was on the bus and shit, and they pulled up. He had tweeted like, "I'm about to pull up at Shaw University." So I came outside, and Muhammad was on the bus. He was like, "Hey, Loso," and I went on the bus talking to Wale. That's when I first met Wale and shit. Talking to him, I got on the bus, and all the bitches was like, "Oh, you know Wale?" Blah, blah, blah. I was like, "Yeah, I know Wale."
Another story.
Sky up there, and then he was just like, Muhammad, like, "You know, I'm about to start this clothing line. Woo. You already know when the shit get the booming, I got you. Say no more." And like, when I got the booming, that's what the fuck I put on. Like, if you go in my closet, like, I swear my right hand to God, I probably got more museum shirts than I got designer shirts. I got more museum than a lot of shit.
Yeah, I see people in Baltimore wearing that shit. Speaking of hoop, though, one more question. Who's your top 5 hoopers from the DMV? They could be NBA, overseas, don't matter. I'm going to tell you my top 5, bro.
My top 5 hoopers?
Yeah. You don't got top 5 DMV?
Top 5 DMV.
I mean, Melo number 1 to me, bro.
I like-
Baltimore's
Of
not
course,
that
KD.
Don't matter.
KD.
I'm gonna go street ballers and all that. KD, my man, the GOAT, Nigel Munson. Nigel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say,
They could be young and old.
yeah, young and old. I like watching. He don't even play basketball no more. I love little Keon Boyd. Keo. I got 2 more. I gotta go with, of course, my son, QC, Quinn.
Shout out Quinn. He's my favorite player. I'm going to keep this
Shout
up.
out to Quinn. Great work ethic.
I'm about to say,
man.
bro,
That's my
really want
favorite
Quinn.
player.
He really want
Quinn,
Quinn.
please come up to the show, dog. I love you, dog.
Quinn. And the heart of the line, Jeff Allen.
Jeff Allen. You got one, Ron?
Bro, it's Melo, bro. I don't care what
Nobody else? You got one?
Yeah, of course.
Who?
I got
Jeff Allen.
KD, of course, that's number
He was
one.
just cooking up Glen Burnie too this summer.
Good job. My dog, man.
Number 2,
You said KD,
nah, I said number 1 is KD. Number 2, I'm gonna go with Mike Beasley.
Mike. Okay.
I love his playing style.
They need to give him a shot, though. They playing with
They
him.
do. Number 3, I used to love going to Vic games in the DeMatha. QC, and then just to bring you up the rear, I don't think I have a 5th.
It's like, you can throw me in there, fool. You know what
All right, I'm gonna go with Ron.
I'm saying?
My top 5 about the 3 on the loop. All right. So Quinn Cook's definitely number 1. Please come on the show. Fucking, I'm gonna go Kel. Markel. This year I feel like he's gonna break out.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think Kel got all-star potential.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
Number 3, right? KD, of course. Number 4, Ty Lawson. Number 5,
You say Rudy Gay, go ahead. He's
nah.
Oh, I'm tripping.
I'm gonna go.
If we going all time, Lynn Bias.
I'm gonna go. My boy Corey Allman.
deep fried.
All right, well, that's a wrap for us for YoloTeam, the home team. Been a pleasure having you on.